We belong to a pretty great country, the United States. And because you're all sitting here in this classroom on this beautiful campus, you've likely experienced the best things it has to offer you. But for everybody in this country, that's not always the case. For example, did you know, in 2015, 13.5% of all Americans lived in poverty. That's over 43 million people. So while you're worrying about whether you can afford the next iPhone or whether you're going to live in Levernick or Towers next year, they're worrying, do I have a meal tonight or will I have a bed? And like this, there's many other economic issues in our country that need to be fixed. They can't all be addressed immediately, but one that can right now is social mobility. Social mobility is through improvement on education funded by us and legislation like a removal of welfare, we can create a good solution for social mobility. Today, I'm going to talk to you about the problem we have in this country with social mobility, how it can be fixed through education, and what we can do to fix it. According to Webster's dictionary, social mobility is defined as the movement of people, families, or groups through a system of social hierarchy or stratification. In other words, it's one's ability to move up the socioeconomic ladder. And the US has grown pretty low, lower than ever before, which is sad because the classic American motto is that anyone, whether you're black, white, Christian, or Muslim, can move up the social ladder by hard work and dedication. But oftentimes in contemporary times, that's not the case. A July 2015 article in The Atlantic stated that a parent's income greatly dictates a child's future financial success, which means that if your parents are poor and you're born poor, it's more than likely that you will remain that way. Not because you want to, not because you choose to, because you have no other choice. There's many ways to address this problem and ways not to, but one for sure is education. NCES.gov, which is the National Center of Education Stats, stated that in 1960, 45% of all Americans, or all high school graduates, went to college. In 1998, that had grown to 65%, and today it's around 70%. The job field has not grown as dramatically, which means one thing: less jobs for more people. And to maintain the value of a college degree, schools need to limit their intakes for students. This can be done in multiple ways, but the way we're doing it now is improper. When my grandfather went to college at UCLA in the 60s, he paid $50 a semester. You heard me right, $50, no, a year. 50 a year to go to UCLA. In today's money, by a Bureau of Labor Stats estimate, that's about $500. Today, a student will pay $34,000 a year to go to UCLA, which is a 6,800% increase since then. As you can see, colleges are limiting their admissions by increasing the rates to attend, which means people who can't afford it are out. That makes social mobility worse because people who can't afford it can't go to college, can't get better jobs, can't make better lives. And the cycle remains. The poor stay poor, and the rich stay rich with their money. A better option is to increase the requirements to go to college, and then rely more on scholarships and decrease costs. Of course, this will leave a financial hole in universities, which will need to be filled so that they can maintain themselves. To do this fully, that big act legislation will be changed. But for now, we can do a few things. This site, Children's Scholarship Fund, gives scholarships to kids, both going to college and earlier on, that help them go to school and break the cycle. You can donate anytime by any of these means. And by doing so, you give a kid with less of a chance than you do get the same great experience we're getting right now. I encourage everybody here to consider how fortunate they are to be at this school and consider giving kids like this a chance to have a good experience too. On the bigger scale, another solution exists as well, and that's welfare. A site logging U.S. government spending shows that the government spends about $1 trillion every year on welfare-related items. This includes food stamps, Medicaid, stuff like that. And it's a big expenditure. In perspective, in 20 years, our $20 trillion US debt could be relieved in a little over 20 years. Or at an average rate of $10,000 per year for an in-state school, estimated by collegedata.org, that is about 100 million students that can go to college every year from that funding. More practically, it could be used for this use, for and a multitude of other things to help our youth economy at basically zero cost. I could go on for hours about why welfare needs to be ended and why it's not helpful for our economy, but here's the basics for this speech. First of all, it's ineffective. In 1990, poverty rate is around the same as it was now, even though welfare spending has grown grotesquely since then. A 2011 book titled "How Can the Poor Be Helped" stated that private companies and organizations are much more effective than the government at welfare, like doing welfare. And so a shift to a private donation funded organization would be much better than the government for welfare. It also save a lot of money. Secondly, it's very wasteful, as you can see by the crazy amount of spending every year on welfare. And then finally, it's fairly unsustainable for our growing economy and our growing population. And the losses being incurred by ending it would be outweighed by the permanent solution that can be created. So, let's just say hypothetically, we do end welfare, and the money is funneled into education, namely for high-achieving, low-income students who wouldn't have a chance to go to college otherwise. This would not guarantee results, but it would open up a lot of opportunities for change. Impoverished children, which are sadly often minorities, will be able to go to college, which would let them get more professional jobs and earn more money, changing their lives and their families. And that would grow exponentially, making a more level playing field. Because people deserve an equal chance in life. That's often not given in today's day. So, what can you do towards college students? As I said before, you can donate to the site, which is Children's Scholarship Fund, and we can donate any money and give money to students who couldn't go to college otherwise. Additionally, there's many foundations like this that you can find everywhere all over the internet and other places that will take money and give to people in need. Because we're all at this campus, we probably have a few dollars we could probably part with, and I plan to donate to this to give back for what I've been fortunate with. Additionally, consider how ineffective our education system is currently, and maybe cast your next vote, whether for a president or mayor or any other politician, for someone with good ideas on education reform, because that's the best way to actually make this situation better. So, when it comes down to it, the U.S. has a lot of problems, especially economically. Social mobility is lower than ever, and many have no chance to succeed, much less thrive in today's world, just because of how they're born. The only practical way to really fix this is by reforming and improving education, and this can be funded by both us and through donations or through our votes in legislation. In a world where the color of your skin or the name on your application can change your odds for a job or college, we need to make a change. Thank you.